Hello, NHSA community. I am so excited to be here with you for another touch point. It is December, and so that means the holidays are upon us. So now what? That's what we're going to talk about today. I think it's really important at this time of year when you work with children in any program, particularly in Head Start, but in any program, that the holidays are supposed to be joyful and it's a time to celebrate and we get together with family, and there are so many traditions that are rich in each of our lives that are unique. But it's also important to recognize that for some kiddos and families the holidays can be less than joyful, and it's hard to balance that, because we don't want to deny children and ourselves and our staff the opportunity to celebrate and recognize a fun time of year for whatever purpose that is in your life, but also to balance that with what does that mean for some of our children and their families. So to help support you this month, I thought I would just highlight a couple of things, and I'm going to provide you with links to these resources that might help you to support your staff and families as you work through the month. A couple of the high level ideas have to do with schedules and routines, sticking to those schedules and routines, and making sure that children have some consistency despite the fact that we sometimes want to do different things during this time of year. Children really thrive off that consistency. So there's some information here. Being aware of your children and families' needs. Now that goes without saying in Head Start. This is the best of what we do. But I think at this time of year, it's particularly important to just think about who of my children, which of my families might need some extra support this year. And especially in light of COVID and knowing that we may have families who are celebrating holidays for the first time without a loved one in their family. That can be a really, really hard time. That first holiday season, that's a little bit different. So being aware of those needs is really important. Promoting resilience in whatever way you do that, whether that's through a specific program, giving folks some training around mindfulness, and you can't forget your staff and yourself. This isn't just about the children and families. This is also about you. It's about your staff, because together, everyone feeling that support will create a much stronger unit. So some mindfulness work at this time of year can be really, really helpful just to slow down. Um, there's a resource here I'm going to share with you about dealing with big emotions. It's a good one. You might check that out, because this can often be a time where big emotions appear, and sometimes we're not even sure why. And then just emotional functioning. Um, you're going to have children who are not excited about being home for break, and you're going to have teachers who probably are. If you shut down for a week and everybody gets to go home, that can be a very exciting thing for an employee. But sometimes our kids aren't as excited about losing their access to their teachers in their classrooms for a week. I have such a vivid memory. My very first job as an administrator, getting ready to wave to the kids as they exited to get on their buses for break, and so excited, and we were joyful and had on, some regalia or whatever. And I had a child who was just crying the whole way out. And it didn't occur to me until then that he didn't want to go home for 2 weeks. He wanted to be in school. And so just remembering it's different for everybody and being aware of that. So the resources are here for you. Just some ideas. I think a lot of what we're talking about, we do 12 months out of the year here at Head Start and Early Head Start. But at this time of year, it doesn't hurt to just kind of raise a little bit of attention to this need. And now, in case you didn't know, a couple of things. First of all, NHSA will be launching a new version of the Quality Initiative. You may be aware that a few years back, there was a quality initiative that allowed programs of excellence to be recognized for working at such a high level. So keep an eye out for that. It will be very limited to, I think, 25 programs. But we're going to take you through a process, and after you complete that process and can kind of demonstrate that excellence, level of excellence, then we're going to recognize you. You'll get all kinds of swag that you can use in your program so that you have sort of that stamp of approval. So keep your eye out for that. The Academy, of course, always has the new stuff, and I always have to tell you about it. We just launched Fiscal Basics and Policy Basics. fiscal basics for everybody. Everyone should know how money works in Head Start, not just if you spend it. And then there's a policy council basics class that we had a parent help us put together. Really, really encourage you to have all of your policy council folks take it, to kind of give them the basics around what their work is all about. Of course, we still have our Head Start and Bias Busters basics and data essentials, as well. And those are really good if you're onboarding new people. You have some new staff. We know we have a lot of turnover. Those could come in handy for you to just get somebody up to speed as quickly as possible. And then don't forget, we've got our Parent Family Engagement Conference in December in Orlando. If you are able to go, wonderful. If you're able to tap in virtually, wonderful. Really looking forward to seeing people in person. So have a beautiful holiday season. Have a wonderful new year. I will be back with a touch point in January for you. And remember, Head Start is access to the American dream. Go make dreams happen.